Welcome to another Coach's Corner. Demetrius Jelatis here with MN Pool Bootcamp. Learn more about my pool, one-on-one pool training experience. 3 days, come from anywhere in the country, work with me, leave a different level player. www.mnpoolbootcamp.com. This week, I want to talk a little bit about the importance of focus, the sacrifice of focus, and how that can be a pivotal growth point for a lot of players. I see this again and again because what happens is, there's different, not everybody plays pool for the same reasons. And sometimes those reasons change. And so I think a lot of players, play recreationally. They get together, they learn the game, they play with pals in their basement or at a pub, and they're kind of joking around and banging balls around and drinking a few beers and rooting for sports on TV. And they just, it's a social event, and pool is definitely part of the focus, but it's not necessarily the entire focus. Then you've got on the other end of the spectrum, you've got real serious players, tournament players, whether it's, professional players or whether it's, regional tournaments. You've got people that are very, very serious pool players, and they play pool differently. They're very focused on the game, and they're devoting all of their attention to what they're doing. And so it's a tricky thing, because what happens a lot of the time is players start recreationally, and then they fall in love with the game and they start wanting to get better. And as they start getting better, they have to kind of decide, do they want to make the sacrifice of turning more and more attention to the game? And when does it make sense to make that sacrifice? And so I see a lot of people that don't necessarily understand how much of an impact it makes on their game, a negative impact it makes on their game when they're not fully focused. And so I see people that are kind of in the middle, where they're not playing recreational anymore. Maybe they're playing tournaments, and maybe they're playing league matches that matter to them, and they're playing sparring sessions with their buddy where they really want to win. But they've still got a lot of hangover habits from when they were recreational players. They're still drinking beers, and they're still surfing their cell phone, and they're still joking around in between shots about what they were trying to do or what almost happened. And so those are the players that kind of, I think, need to hear this, is that not to say that there's a right answer of what they should do, but they need to understand what they're doing and kind of make informed decisions. And for a long time, guys, I didn't give lessons because nobody wanted to hear it. I tell people, you don't want to take a lesson from me, because you're going to come and you're going to give me some money, and I'm going to tell you, turn off your phone, put the nachos down, put the beer down, quit talking to him, shut your mouth, and play pool. And nobody wants to hear that. And, come again next week, same time. It's like nobody wants to hear that. And so I just feel like if you're a recreational player and you just enjoy splashing balls around and having fun, then do that. We need recreational players. There's nothing wrong with that. And if it's a social thing for you, then I don't want to take that away. But for people that are serious, for people that are watching top pros play, for people that are buying instructional material and watching YouTube videos and doing drills and investing in equipment and taking lessons and are really passionate about getting to the next level, this is something you might want to consider. So just to make it really, really, really tangible, I've put together 9-ball, the dice game. It's a little thought experiment for y'all. So here's the way 9-ball, the dice game works. Suppose that we're going to play a game, and here's the rules. There's 5 6-sided dice. We're going to take turns rolling the 5 6-sided dice. And we're going to play, and the way that you score points, you add up the number of points that you rolled. So if I roll 5 3s, I score 15 points. If you roll 5 4s, you score 20 points. And we're going to take turns rolling and adding up our points until we get to some number like 500. Well, at this point, it sounds like a pretty boring game, because it's just, what did you roll? It's all luck. But now I'm going to add the strategy element to 9-ball, the dice game. And that is, before each roll, you get to declare an action off of an action list. And depending on the action you declare, there is a modifier to your roll. So, for example, there is an action that you can declare. You can declare that before your roll, you would like to eat nachos. And if you declare that you would like to eat nachos, there's a -4 penalty to your next roll. Or you could declare that you want to surf your cell phone. And if you want to be on your cell phone, that's a -5 penalty to your next roll. You can also declare that, what you want to do is you want to explain why you just missed your last shot and how you would have had position if you'd wobbled that ball in. Well, -3 penalty. You can watch TV, watch the sports game going on. That's -2. Drink a beer. You know what? If you want to drink a beer between shots, that's actually only -1. Some people play pretty good when they drink a beer.
Can I?
I'm
going +1 on that. I like beer. Just kidding. Continue on.
Or for your last action, you can declare that you'd like to sit down and wait for your next shot, and there is no penalty for doing that. And so, if we were playing a game of 9-ball the dice game, and we were, playing where we both wanted to win, it's pretty obvious. What action would you declare off that list before every throw? Well, you would declare that you're obviously just going to wait for your next turn because that's the only thing you can do that doesn't have a negative impact on your game. And I think people don't really think about it that tangibly. I don't know. My brain works a little different. To me, it seems really, really clear because I look at Efren and I look at Josh Filler and I look at Aranis and I look at Shane and I look at all these guys, Chang, and I've never seen in the finals of a world championship, I've never seen them surfing a cell phone, eating nachos, drinking beers, joking around. And so whenever I see people doing these things, I'm like, do they think that they're so much better than Shane and Filler that they can get away with this? Or do they not realize the impact it's having? Or do they, and they're just not willing to make that sacrifice? And here's what I'd say. If you understand the impact that it's having on your game and you recognize that, hey, I'm not better than Shane and Filler, and that if I do these things, it will impact my performance and I will not play as well. I will play far, far below my potential, but I'm willing to pay that price in terms of gameplay to just keep this social and recreational. If you go into that with your eyes open and that's what you want to do, again, we need recreational players. That's the majority of who plays pool. God bless you. We love you. But don't come ask me for lessons. But if you're a serious player and you've been doing drills and buying equipment and you're like, hey, I enjoy this game differently, instead of enjoying the social aspects and the humorous aspects, I'm enjoying the pursuit of excellent pool, and that's really meaningful and satisfying, rewarding. And so I find my joy from this game in a different way, and playing at a high level means something to me. Then you might want to consider making a sacrifice of that short term distraction to really pursue pool excellence, because that level of focus is required to play great pool. And what you lose on that kind of superficial stuff, you can gain with a higher level of pool. And so at least understand that's the cost of playing better pool. It's up to you if you want to pay that cost, but at least be clear in your mind of what it takes to get to the next level. And then you can make an informed decision so that you're not one of these people that's caught in the middle where you want to play better, but you don't realize what you're doing to yourself and why you don't get there. So those are my thoughts. I would encourage any feedback and comments. Let me know if you have questions. If you want to come work with somebody that can help get you that way. Again, Demetrius here, MN Pool Boot Camp. Thanks so much.